Factorio. First trip to Aquilo. Category is Factorio. Only 90 viewers right now? It's unfortunate. We can get that number up, though. Let's go poke around. So, the last time we played, we broke our biter factory 2 or 3 times, but everything is running perfectly fine now. We feed all of our eggs into these egg crushers, which I actually don't think these need to exist anymore. These just help catch us up on backlog. So I can take these out. And then make sure you don't keep that on you. And then we built this ship. Or didn't build this ship, but we designed this ship. And what we're going to do today is we're going to build it. The only thing that I want to check is whether I actually got full turret and rocket coverage. And I think I did. Yeah. It looks like we have good coverage on it. So we're going to start building this thing. Oh, you know what? No, I needed 2 more components to it. 2 more very small components. Number 1, I need circuit logic that controls when asteroids are allowed to be grabbed. And for that, I'm literally going to copy you over and move you to here. And I'm going to keep these same ratios. And you are also going to be fine. And then you output on green, is that true? Yeah, you output on green. So green feeds into all of our asteroid collectors to let them know when they're allowed to pick stuff up. You connect to the outer one. And that's all the asteroid collectors you have. You have none in the back. So it only really harvests when it's moving forwards. But that should be okay. And then you also need red circuit control on the belt. Reading here. No, it doesn't feed into that machine. It feeds into this. And then you read everything. I don't believe there's any splitters on this belt, so it should just read the whole thing without any complaints. You are sulfur garbage collection for that side belt, and then you need garbage collection to get extra ice off of this belt, which you can put... Just seeing if there's anywhere convenient to put it. Not really. So you can go here. And that's going to be our ice garbage collection. You are going to be filtered to only grab ice, because ice is the only thing that should be able to overflow. You're going to connect here, and you're going to read the whole belt. You are enabled when ice is greater than 150. Then we also need to connect this ammo dispenser to the belt. Not enable disable. You're just hold. And then you are enable when ammo less than 1,000, because you're a bulk inserter. And then you need to talk to the belt as well. And you are going to be enable when rocket is less than 1,000. And that should be this ship ready to run. So things that exist on the outer part of the belt are going to be asteroids. You can never have more than 50 of each at a time on the belt, because that's governed by this constant combinator decider combinator. Things on the inner side of the belt are going to be... No, ice is going to go on the outside as well. But ice is controlled by this inserter. The stuff on the inside is going to be rockets and ammo only. Oh, you need one more garbage collector, actually. You need one garbage collector here. and you are filtered to only expired uranium fuel cells, and you run all the time. You don't need to be circuited. And it doesn't matter what side of the belt those go on, because they'll just get pulled off as soon as they get put on. The only other thing that I would like to add to you, and I don't even know if I have the space. I do have the space, but it means getting rid of these turrets. Can you do that? Also, you're missing an inserter. I want to have 2 asteroid crusher. Oh, you know what? No, I could put you there. Yeah, find a different place for these turrets. Just because I want this thing to spin up faster. Yeah, this will work. I want 1 asteroid crusher here. And I want 1 asteroid crusher. No, that's not going to work. You need to switch these. You need laser turret here, laser turret here. And then you need crusher here and crusher here. This one is going to do metallic reprocessing. And it's going to run all the time. It's going to take out here and put in here. This one is going to be carbonic reprocessing. It's going to run all the time. It's going to put out here and take in here. And the point of these two is that if we run behind on ice asteroids, we can start converting the other 2 into the other stuff that we need. So actually, maybe you want to put those on the green line, because they should only run when ice is less than 50. If ice is greater than 50, they don't need to run. Yeah, alright, so how are you running a green cable down there? Like this. That'll do. Enable if oxide chunk less than 20. Same thing here. Change recipe though. On the way to Aquilo, I'm much more likely to have too much ice. It's true. However, this ship takes an enormous amount of time to start up. So I'm actually thinking mostly about when it's just sitting in Nauvis orbit, and it's trying to get enough ice to start making its first batch of fuel. And then if these don't run at any other time, like, who cares? It's fine. They just won't run. But I need to replace these turrets here, because I think this was the only turret coverage I had on the back of the ship. It is. These engines are technically vulnerable right now. You could go here and here. You can have a long-handed here that is filtered on ammo only. And then you can have a long-handed here. And then you can do the same thing on this side. You're filtered on ammo only. And then you have turret coverage on the engines. These turrets may actually have to work pretty hard, because anything that comes directly from the back, it doesn't have great laser support back here. It has fine rocket turret support, but it should be really unlikely that this ship has asteroids drifting into it from the back. So I'm not particularly concerned about that. But I think this thing should be ready to manufacture. So let's head back to Nauvis. Also, we haven't done science in forever, and I need to figure out why my science isn't shipping. It's because you haven't unloaded calcite. We need to have you drop off some of this calcite to make space for the extra volcanic science. And then I also need to turn all of my rocket silos off of automatically request, because I'm going to build this ship by hand just to prototype it out and make sure I haven't forgotten anything. And then once it's done, then I can have the logistics network auto build it, because I don't care so much about wastage. And then we can load it and we can go to Aquila. Also, I don't need you anymore. That was my loudspeaker for telling me when that uranium deposit runs out. It's not going to run out. Rocket silo's down here. There you are. Right. None of you auto request. I'm going to take care of this by hand for the first one. So what do you need? 3434 space platform foundation. Well, that'll take care of this box. Send up our first batch of 200. How are you doing? You didn't drop off any science. Why? Why? You should be requesting science, no? Yes. Why did you not drop off? Let's just briefly watch you and figure out what happened. Because something isn't quite working right here. All requests satisfied. I mean, it sent it. If the ship is satisfied, it counts all requests as satisfied and doesn't even pause. Oh, okay. So, in order to get it to wait, I need to add like a time past 10 seconds. Or 5 seconds, because it really doesn't take that long to shoot stuff down. I don't even need all requests satisfied, but that should take care of it. And that also emptied a ton of that cargo. Alright, that explains a lot. Let's go do that to the other ships, though. Because I'm sure that's caught them at some point. Time passed. 5 seconds. Navigator. Time passed. 5 seconds. What are you waiting on? Bioflux. Why? Because we build rockets really slowly. Oh, because this shut off. We gotta go down to Gleba soon. We actually gotta go down to Gleba very soon. Well, I guess not. Like, we're not doing anything with egg science right now. But we do need to go down and fix that. And also, I'm just annoyed that Gleba doesn't make blue circuits fast enough. So I think I do want to rip out all that old circuit factory and replace it with electromagnetic plants. Do I have a ship in orbit? You could build the Aquilo Sojourner, and you could have that head out to Gleba for you. That's one way of doing it. Volcanus, how are you doing on tungsten? A-okay. You have plenty of surplus down there. Your coal patch is good. Your calcite obviously is fine. Your calcite will never run. Send up another 200. Productivity moving again. Lovely. It also occurs to me that we never actually switched over low density structures to work off of foundries. We maybe should have done that, because we still make them in assembler 2s. But then we'd have to bring molten copper over here. And molten iron, I think. It just seems like a lot of work. And I don't think we used enough of it right now that it's a huge concern. Now, where is my space platform foundation? I'm sure you're in the mall here somewhere. There you are. Probably need about that much extra. Maybe more. Love this. Many positive emotions from that. Empty bioflux. You received no shipments. It's because you have no... Oh, God. Oh, the copper turned off. That's... Okay, that's a... It's a bigger problem than I thought. You guys are also kind of slow to build. What is going on down here? Why are you so fussy? Might need to think about beaconing you. Can I remotely kickstart it because I have bots? Probably. But I actually know how to fix it for real without needing to kickstart it. I just didn't do the decider combinator installation on every single biochamber. Because it was... Well, actually it broke here too. Yeah, something's still broken down on Gleva. I'll have to go back and investigate it. I mean, it's fine. It just means everything down here is going to spoil. And I can go down and remote start it later. I can manually start it later. I don't feel like I have to remote start it. We'll just not research anything with egg science for a while, and I think I made a disgusting amount of prod 3s. Yeah, we have almost 700 prod 3s. The biter nests will eventually explode, that's true. But we have fortifications against that. The laser turrets will just kick on. And I'm not in immediate need of biolabs and prod 3s. So I'm just going to let them spoil. I'll have the laser turrets do a little bit of work. I'll just let them spoil themselves. This is glacially slow. You are going to want to beacon this. But you had grand designs of using this rail because you thought it would look cool for it to run past all the rocket silos. That's true. How many more of these do you need? Still need 2,500. Each rocket launches 50. You need to do 50 rocket launches divided by 6. You need to send 9 badges of rockets? Nah. We can wait it out. Do I need them to be super prodded? No, but there's that Factorio player in the back of my brain that's like, did you know that the single best use of productivity modules is in a rocket silo? Because it saves you some amount of resources that are already infinite, and I, unfortunately, am compelled by that voice in the back of my head to say, you know what, you're right. This is the optimal way to save my resources, even though resources are infinite. I wish it wasn't so. I wish that I could resist that voice, but... Single speed next to all the prods will change speed without lowering prod that much. Yeah. What I'm thinking is... Really what I'm thinking is this. Alright, if we're going to do this, let's actually do this. Right? Where are my beacons? Actually, doesn't matter. Just grab them from here. That's an annoying place for that station to be. We're going to have to accept that this is not going to be perfect coverage on our beacon placement. But if you were going to... Fuck. Can you guys bring me like 10 beacons? Thank you. You're now out of logistics coverage. That's kind of bad. There you go. I'm going to let this rocket build. I'm going to move this rack of silos up. So we'll just have 6 silos inline instead of having silos on both sides of the belt. Oh, you also need to go. So technically this doesn't even need to go underground here, but it doesn't really make a massive difference. I am going to manually build this last little bit of rocket in here. I just want to send these. And then I'll tear these silos down. I recognize that this is extremely unnecessary and that rocket parts are basically free. But, again, I just feel compelled to act on my compulsions in this case. Because it's just more efficient that way. You should also move these silos. Alright, you know what? If you're going to do something, it's worth doing right. Just slide your whole rocket silo section of the base down a little bit. Just do it the right way. And then you don't have to do it again. Like, this power pole setup is also insanely scuffed. You don't have to be doing things that way. You probably don't need single belt delivery for these either. You could do a little something like this. Good. Alright, you're done. You're done. You are about to be done. Then, how much of the grid is this going to sever? A lot of it. Okay. Let's reestablish that in a more convenient place. Like there. You can take that down. You can take all of these down. How beacon did you want to make these rocket silos? Let's go build a little something here out of range of construction bots. Did you drop my beacons off? Yeah, they're there. So you could go put them as far away as possible. You can tile like this. No, that doesn't reach anymore. Here it is, rock. How big is a rocket silo? You would just go like this. That's as good as you're going to get. And then you do the same thing up here. And then you do the same thing over here. Oh, but then they don't fit there. I see what you mean. You could fit a couple more in. You could do this. So unless I'm not thinking creatively with beacons, this is about the best you can do to get beacon coverage on one silo. Which is convenient because your belt routing is really easy. You can have one going through the top, you can have one going through the bottom. And you could even, if you wanted to, you could... Yeah, you can weave. Well, you don't even need to weave. Even better than that, I don't need to do this. Also, how are these last three doing? 36? Yeah, I'll make 36. 44? Yeah, I'll make 44. Let's keep you guys working on some stuff. And you can send a space platform. So I can have you come in like this. That's not how you do it. You do it like this. No, you can do it like this. This just comes in like that. You also need to leave yourself space for substations, though. So why don't you do substations first, because you will need to power this. Your underground length on turbos is crazy, so you don't need to worry a lot about that. You come up here, and you can go under here. And then you can come up. You would go under here. And come up here. You would go like that. You would go like this. And then up here, it's dead easy. You may need to go under like there. So does this tile. No. This section is not long enough. Or it's too long. So how do I make that section shorter? Can I just get rid of that? And then I have you come up here and back down. It looks like that still powers everything. Oh, but those beacons overlap. These need to come in closer, I think. I need to do something like this. Oh, I don't like that at all. Let's get rid of that thing. Then you would go like this. So it's -1 beacon, but it does make it easier to tile. I guess technically you don't need these. That all tiles. The substations are very ugly. I guess if you don't need the substation down here, you don't need the one up there either. You'll still just have coverage. They're going to go so absurdly fast you don't know if it'll matter. It's going to matter. Also, if I've got a nuclear reactor this big, I'm gonna use it. That's what they're for. I need to go grab my speed 3s out of my rocket depot, though. Did you guys launch? You're at 54? You're done. You're at 48. Go for it. I want them to go as fast as possible. I don't mean like, oh, you launched a rocket, very neat. I want them to go. I want them to go and not stop. We can clean up some of this. Like, you don't actually have to be underground for that long. The animation takes more time than the building. That's true. I didn't think about that, but we can figure that out later. Honestly, if that happens, I'll just strip out the beacons in the middle, and then I can just have them inline, and we'll just have the racks of beacons top and bottom. But I can test that. I did forget that rockets have an insanely long animation, but I just want to see how fast they go first. You guys done yet? Guess what? You're about to be. Okay, you're right. They're going to go really fast. Oh, but I want to see it. I want to see him zoom in. Alright, you guys get up there, and then we're done. This belt is actually going to turn off, like, way up here. We'll put it in later when we know exactly where it's going to go. I know I could also just fix it with more silos, but... like, I've literally said, this is why I don't like beacons. Because you can just build more of the same building. But I just want to see a machine go fast. You know? If you don't like seeing a bar move really, really quickly, like insanely quickly, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Like, bar move fast is good. How do you tile? Not like that. Fix it later. So you're gonna come to... You need to cut this belt off. That's a problem. Can I please have all this back? Thank you. Watch that chest be in the way now. No, perfect. Alright, so one starts here. Go. Turn the suit on. Also, these are turbos. Get your prod modules in here. Alright. Oh, it's so fast. Look at how fast it's going. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. We may only need one silo. It's actually not as fast as I thought. But what I really want to see is the animation. So if this bar gets to 100 before this rocket fully resets, then we actually have too many beacons. Okay, we have way too many beacons. Yeah, that is an unnecessary amount of beacons. We can take down the middle ones. Which also means that these belts can just... Well, no, I can leave them like this. It's close. It's actually kind of close. Nah, it's not that close. I was just kidding. So if you're going to tile it, then I think you may just need to go like this. No, you want to slide... I see. We're going to make a slight adjustment here. We're going to make a very small adjustment to the way that belt input is handled here. It's fine. Just feed it to the rocket silo. Okay. So if we're going to tile these, I need you to go here. And then you actually do cover all the beacons. And then you can go, like, here to give power. These can start one later. The one on the top is going to be very straightforward. It comes out. It inserts. And then the next substation is going to be here. Actually, can the next substation be here? It can. Well, in that case... do it like this. And then these cool guys just sit next to each other. Get your pot 2s in there, and then you guys down here. Did I? Yeah, I used the right belt there. So you can do the same thing. You'll pop out here, and you'll go back under here. Zoom. Then you will pop out here and here. And you're just going to do like a little strafe around. Like this. And then that should be a tileable unit. No, it's not going to be, because the beacons aren't going to line up. No, the beacons do line up. They'll be fine. You'll have a substation down here. Put your speed mods in. So this whole thing should be able to tile starting from here. Yeah. Let's make 4. Why not, man? Wait, actually, that's wrong. I'll have you go the flow all the way to the end. Also, this is wrong. You need to come up here, I guess? No, you can come up here. And then why don't you go under here? And you can go under and over here. I'm sure that didn't contaminate any belts, and we're probably fine. Like, I wouldn't personally worry about it. It is actually such a mess. Ugh. You are going to have to clean that up. Okay. Okay. Wait, what happened here? But then you just flow straight. No, you need to come back up from underground. I guess you would do that here. Sure. Pick all these up. Oh, please just let me grab these rocket fuels. Can I get a drone to do that? Can you pick up just rocket fuel, please? Surely there's a way to do this. Item on ground. There we go. Thank you. And then you insert here. That's connected. You do need to slide this thing over, though. Your inventory probably can handle that, but err on the side of caution. And then this also needs to go here. Excuse you? That seems bad. A train has been destroyed? Where did that come from? A train has been destroyed. How did something get inside the walls? Wait, this is outside my walls. Yeah, this happens well as... Oh, you know what happened? I bet the artillery shot to destroy an expansion nest. And somehow a train managed to get destroyed by that. And now I need to figure out what train it was. Oh, God. Do you mind? Yeah, how are you going to figure out what train that was? One train with that stop. Was it the uranium? Was it the sulfuric acid train? Was it the uranium train? Was it the bioflux train? It was the bioflux train. Okay, we need to rebuild the bioflux train. Oh, I do not like that this part of the base exists outside the walls. And there's not an easy way to seal it either. We could wall here, and we could wall here. But then this is... We could wall here. Here is an annoying wall, and then I don't know what we do about it. I think I'm just going to have to leave it. I need to get this Aquila ship in orbit. There's too many things breaking right now. I also cannot keep up with metallurgic science somehow. Am I banking 3,000 of it at a time? No. Well, that would probably be like one of the easy things you could fix. Let's say 5,000 on this. You're simply not storing enough. Are you producing fast enough? You are all producing. So we're making it as fast as we can. We may be consuming volcanoscience faster than we make it, which would mean that we probably want to start alternating it with other researches. And we can't do Gleba because Gleba is currently broken. We'll start alternating it with Fulgora science. But I need to go rebuild the bioflux train first, because I wish that I could have seen that on the radar when it was destroyed. I would be fascinated to see how that happened. Why aren't you making? No blues. Oh. Yeah, probably. It's the easiest way to fix that. Probably just have it never go underground in the first place. Like so. But then why is there no more coming down the belt? Oh, because you need that to be underground as well. Alright, there we go. Your rockets are back on. And they build real quick. Good. Okay, that's going to be much faster. What do I need for locomotives? Steel. I've successfully solved one problem. I have created, in the process of solving one problem, like 3 more problems. But I have solved one problem. And I should be commended for this. Bioflux train. Bioflux train. Your stations are Bioflux pickup. Time passed. 10 seconds. Bioflux drop off. Time passed. 10 seconds. And you use the low fuel interrupt. Off you go. Don't get into trouble this time. One entity being damaged. That's fine. We have drones for that. Doesn't particularly bother me. Science is back on, although I actually think we're running out of non-space sciences at this point. We are. Wow, our normal science can't even keep up. Okay, so this is good. We'll find out what our actual science per minute is now that we've worked through the backlog of terrestrial science that we have. Do you make now? You're out of rocket fuel. You never connected the rocket fuel. Now you craft. Okay. All of the rocket silos are up and running. And they're, like, kind of tiled the way that they're supposed to be. Dump all of the extra product in here to start clearing out your inventory. You can have some of this. You can have a little bit of this. How many more platforms do you need up here? Still 1,600. Okay. It's actually still too many beacons. But this is a fairly clean setup, and I don't really feel that compelled to change it. I think you're going to need another 1,000 still. Maybe a little more. Science is not yet stabilized. That is a massive drain on our space platform production. It's a good thing we never actually capped the amount of space platform we were building. Because for ships like this, we burn through all of it. How many more rocket silos you got on here? You should have 2 more. Because originally you had 6. I just don't see them in my inventory right now. Did they fall on the ground and have a logistics bot take them? Did you make 2 more? Do you have a factory that makes rocket silos? Is that what this is? Rocket? No. Oh, you built them in your... You accidentally built them. Dismantle this. Hello? Hello. How are you? Good. So grab here. Place here. Gotta go fast. As soon as somebody comes to place this anyway. There we go. Still 1,000 to go, but each of these is 200. You know, it's actually not as close as I thought. We do still have too many, but it's really close. $884 still. Let's go grab 2 nuclear reactors. This is going to burn through our rocket fuel as well. Let's go grab our nuclear reactors, because I would like to get power up as soon as possible. I will need 2 of you. Also some of these. Also probably some of these. So I'll just take those off your hands. And then you're also going to need fuel cells for that. Which would be over here. I'll send up 100 with you. Just for initial startup. Not gonna, it feels weird seeing the science belt not backlogged. It feels like something's broken. But we are actually just consuming all of it. Oh, and that was all your space platform too. Alright, how much more do you need? 334. We'll send up 350. We'll send up 400. And then we don't need this last 78. We'll send up 350. Wait, are you going to be able to research? You need to go and fix Gleba to research Aquila. That's fine, because after you're done with the Aquila ship, you're going to Gleba. And you're going to fix it. And then you can fly to Aquila when you're done. Off you go. You have one of these. You have one of these. You have one of these. And then you take some of these. That will be our initial power production. You are going to need 40 even chem plants. This is actually way fast. Are you out of your logistics network there? You are. I don't love that. I want to be able to stand next to these rocket silos and summon items. So let's get some coverage down. There. Now I can just stand here and summon stuff from the logistics network and then load it into a rocket. And you don't know that you're supposed to deliver that to Aquilo, because I haven't turned on your fuel request yet. I should have called this something like nuclear space fuel. That sounds about right. And then 40 chem plants. 10, 20, 30. Clear the request, because you won't need it anymore. 40. Send up a little bit of extra nuclear fuel. Next thing you're going to need are probably inserters and pipes. Summon yourself 200 blues. How many underground pipes you need up there? 89. 50. 75. 90. 2 fuel cells puts you an even 100. Head up to Aquila Sojourner. There's your 150. Don't need any more of those. 308 pipe. You have that on you currently. 1, 2, 3. We'll go 310 just for a round number. And then that'll probably be the rest of the blue inserters. 22 of them to be exact. Send up 25 just in case you need some more. You're going to need reds up there as well. You need 11 reds. Send up 20. And then something very small. 2 stack inserters, probably. Pretty small. Alright, you can just go. At 990, you can just go. Next, you're going to need, let's say, 40 heat pipe. You're going to need 16 heat exchangers. This you can be exact on. $16 heat exchangers, and then, what, 28 turbines? 26 turbines. That's not quite perfect, but it's good enough. Right, 40 heat pipes, up you go. Cancel that. You can have some extra solar panels in that load. That'll give us some really small initial power, enough to get the crushers and stuff running. Oh, I need to send crushers up to start grabbing asteroids. And grabbers. 6 grabbers, 20 crushers. Six and 20. Let's end up the heat exchangers, the turbines. 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 And then maybe a little bit of turbo belt. You're going to need 493 total. Let's get some of that going up. You can have crushers, grabbers, crushers, crushers. Fill it out with turbos, because you're going to need to send a ton of turbos up. And then cancel your requests for those. You don't need them anymore. You still need 200 pipe. Really? Thought I sent up, like, all the pipe I would ever need. Guess not. Request me 200 pipe, please. Along with however many spare solars I still need. 0. Good. How about 10 accumulators? Hold on to a little bit of residual power while we're up there. 26 undergrounds. I can do 25. And then 1. I can do 100 pipe. And then I can do another 100 pipe. Good. Deliver. Cancel. Send up accumulators. What else you need up here still? 28 gun turrets, 4 tanks. Let's grab some tanks. 28 gun turret I should have on me. No, you don't. Request 50 gun turret. Yeah, 50's fine. Oh, 4 tank you definitely had on you. There you go. How many laser turret? 22. You're good to go. You'll need 4 more. How many gun turret? 28. The rest of that load is going to be turbos. You need 1 single turbo splitter, 11 thrusters, 5 foundries. 5 foundries you have on you. You can send that one up. 1 turbo splitter. You can cancel your gun turret request. 10 rocket turrets. Request. 8 cargo bays. I don't think you make cargo bays in your logistics network currently. You might need to do those by hand. Yeah, I think you're going to have to do those by hand. And then just a tiny bit more steel. Just the tiniest hint of a suggestion of steel. Where could you get this from? Probably not from over there. I thought there was like a... Oh, here they are. The boxes I left out in the wilderness that have random resources in them. There we go. And then what is your true science per minute? It's really hard to say. You look fairly stable at around 700. 664 maybe. But that is a problem with terrestrial science. We would have to double each of our science producers in order to get them to match what we could consume when there was a backlog. Those labs can consume like 1400 per minute. So that is our target. Also, 7 manufacturer 3s. Okay. Send it. Don't need it. Still looking for 6 pipe. I'll give you like 10. I'll give you 8. The rest of that can be turbos. 1 decider, 1 constant combinator. This seems like a great load to put those in on. Logistics. What are you short on? Copper. Go grab some copper quick. Yoink. One constant on decider. And then just grab a little bit more turbo belt to pad out the rest of this load. Off to Aquila you go. You still need 3 more rocket turrets, a turbo splitter, which you definitely put in a rocket somewhere. You take that. You can have 3 of these. We need to send 8 of these up eventually. Fill the rest of that out with belt. You can have these last 2. Fill the rest of this out with belt. And then 11 engines, and you're done. Well, 11 engines and a ton of belt, and you're done. So space, engines, 11. Wall is just constantly being picked at, but it's fine. We have repair kits. We have just one construction drone doing the Lord's work up there. What are you? Oh, right. Biter egg pickup doesn't do anything right now. 3 engines. 11 engines. 5, 10, 11, belt. And then how much belt do you need? We just sent up 40. So you're going to need like 320 more? What was in you? Oh, I never sent these pipes up. That explains a lot. But we sent them up somewhere else because you got them, right? Yeah, you're not requesting any. All right, sure. Here's another 200. That's 300 on the way. You need 320. We'll send one more load up, and then that should be this ship technically operational. Grabbers are running. They just don't have anywhere to put things on the belt yet. But because I got the arithmetic combinator up there and the constant combinator and stuff, they're at least sending out signals, and they'll be working on a backlog of asteroids. Nuclear reactors are not running yet because we don't have access to water. But we will be able to turn the melters on soon. Oh, you're good. You're done. This is a technically operational ship. I can see that being a problem. So now we start the debugging process. We find all of the errors and the issues that exist on this ship. And we waste a ton of rockets to do it. But that's going to prevent any thruster fuel from getting made. We are catastrophically low on power. And it is going to prevent you from grabbing anything. So we need more solar up here. Just to kick... No, you're running. I don't really want you to run right now. But you are running. I mean, I guess we just wait for you to fill up and then you're done running. But this is always the part that takes forever on these ships. Is this initial startup phase. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and it is the advantage to just having the silos auto-request. Is that if the silos are auto-requesting, then they do have a tendency to overfill. Getting water into the system is a huge deal. You don't have a steam tank, though, do you? You don't buffer any steam on this ship. Do you foresee that being a problem? You know, I kind of do. I think I would very much like to buffer steam. So destroy this turbine and this turbine, and send 2 more tanks up. And then you're going to need spare pipe for that too, but you did send yourself up a little bit of extra spare pipe. So 1 tank here, 1 tank here. Did you send up 4? You did. You did not. So we should check. Here, have 100. We should check these things. Yeah, it's probably the smart way to do it, is just to trust the auto solution. This also means that we're not technically going to be able to produce 80 megawatts, but I don't think there's any way this ship produces 80, or requests 80 megawatts of power at basically any time ever in its operation. So I need to kill enough power, and it's you running. I'm gonna pause you, because I think the foundries are the big power drain, and I just want these things to start grabbing. You would also be the big power drain. So I'm gonna pause you temporarily. I appreciate that you're making iron plates for my rockets, but I just want the collector arms to run. What else is trying to draw power right now? These? Shouldn't be. They have no access to molten iron. You definitely have no power. There's something else drawing on this platform. 22 laser turrets, probably. Oh god, I don't want to turn all the laser turrets off. We have to send them more solar. How many spare panels do I... Or how many spare, foundations do I have? Not a ton. You can get one there and there. And it actually kind of helps to make this thing a little more symmetrical. Alright, I'm going to need to send up one load of platforms and then an extra, like, 10 panels. I just need enough to let it kickstart itself, and then we're good to go. Like, as soon as that reactor turns on and we buffer a little bit of steam, we're totally fine. Grab some of you, and grab a little bit of you. Solar panels. You make them. They exist in here somewhere. You make them in e-make plants. They're up here now. You moved them. But they're all in a mystery box somewhere? They're all... Oh, it's 15 here. Weird, but okay, sure. Don't fully understand it. You don't need to send that extra... Oh, the extra pipe never sent. Wait. Yeah, extra pipe never sent. Alright. The rest of these solar panels go in here. No. Well, alright, we have a lot of extra pipe now. And then I guess we'll send this and we'll see what we can do with it. You do consume... I think they're still trying to consume electricity even though I disabled them, because they just have passive draw. I think is what the problem is. So that's my pipe up. We can now buffer steam. Let's see if this helps my power situation. It does. Grabbers are running again. Add one more into the network. You're building accumulator charge. This is positive. You're outputting ice. What's the problem here? Oh. Alright, that's also a problem. But then you can also improve on this a little bit as well here and here. By having an inserter here that filters on ice only. And then one over here that filters on ice only. And then these are going to help to take ice off of this main belt, because there is going to be a lot of waste ice getting placed onto this belt, and it's going to funnel it back into the water melters. And it's just going to help turn this ship on a little bit faster, I think. So we now have full power. We don't yet have a surplus of water, but we at least have power being produced. And more importantly, we're taking a lot of ice off of the main belt, and we're moving it. Why is there calcite on? Is it calcite? There's calcite. How did calcite make it onto the main belt? Oh. Because you need to be filtered on ice and oxide chunks. Which means it's probably set up wrong over here too. Yeah. No, you're set up correctly. It's you that doesn't need the filter. You can take in anything. I just got the filters on the inserters backwards. Okay, and then you now need to purge calcite off this main belt. Because it shouldn't be there. I don't think much will have gotten on. I mean, we can just check. There's still one calcite on the belt. That's fine. You'll get it cleaned off. We generate thruster fuel. We don't yet generate thruster oxidizer. But it's coming. Actually, it's not coming. That's a molten iron belt. How do you get the thruster oxidizer over here to this pipe? That's a good question. It's a really good question, actually. Because you're actually full on thruster oxidizer. You just don't know how to get it over there. You are going to need... You have one underground up here, mercifully. Like, what does this do? Why are you here? I don't think that's your solution. Also, is water backed up yet? Not yet. As soon as I see water backing up, I'm going to turn on ammo production. I just don't need it quite yet. First, I have to figure out how to get this thruster oxidizer into the right place. Like, it's you that's annoying me right now. No, wait, I see it. Here? Here. No, you don't see it anymore because it's going to try and connect there. There's a solution to this. This is a pass-through. That won't work. And it's this belt in particular that's kind of the issue. Oh, you know what? I see I see a solution. It's actually a very easy solution at the end of the day. You need to be a red inserter. And then you can just grab off of that. And then you can just pop above ground here. And that turns everything on. That works. Can I shift the blue pipe left 2 spaces at the top? Yeah, I could have done that, but I can also just stub this belt and use a red inserter instead. It's not like you're ever going to be throughput limited on the amount of asteroids that you need to eat. We have run out of ice. Why aren't you grabbing? Why aren't you taking out? Because you're pointing the wrong direction. Okay. Alright, so that's engines working. These utility crushers are also kind of doing their job. I don't know how much extra ice they're making. Well, one of them just made extra ice, so I'll take it. But I don't really want to turn this whole thing on until I see a water surplus. We are close to backing... Well, we're not close to backing up on steam. We have 7,200 steam in reserve. But once that fills up, I think that means that our water will be able to fill up. These are full on water. You don't have any calcite yet. How's that possible? I think that you just haven't had any oxide asteroid chunks reach you yet, because you're pretty far down the belt. Also, what happened here? This is all wrong. This entire belt needs to go. Because you need to be a red. And you need to filter on... No. You need to be a red here. I saw you try and grab, and you were too slow. You need to grab ammo. And then you're going to come around like this. And that's what gets ammo into those turrets. Did you make the same mistake over here? No, you did it right on that side. Okay. But then what does this belt do? Oh, that's your plate plus explosive for feeding the rockets. Okay. Understood. You did produce thruster fuel at one point. You just ran out of calcite somehow. Maybe I am good to turn it on at this point. Alright. Start melting. Start making. This... Why don't you have coal? Because you don't have carbon? Why don't you have carbon? Because you don't have carbonic asteroid chunks. Is it because you're grabbing them too fast? It may be that you grab carbonic asteroid chunks too fast. Because I do see you grabbing a lot of them. But I think that's intended behavior, because if water runs low, everything else is really bad. Water is the most important thing to exist on this ship. By a fairly wide margin. Let's get ammo production going, because I want to see if any of these gun turrets aren't correctly hooked up. So far, so good. Is that putting a dent in your storage? No, your steam is still going up. If I could just get my thruster fuel a little higher, I'd actually be inclined to try and fly out to Fulgora, but the second I turn this thing on, it's going to burn through every bit of fuel it has. I guess you could maybe just disable these two temporarily. Which I guess you would do off of this inserter. And then see if that lets a few carbonic asteroids through so that you can build some more thruster fuel. Well, metallic asteroid, this you can leave on. We're never going to be throughput limited on metallic asteroids with how much these crushers make. Hey, look at the amount of iron ore that's just sitting in here. So if you see metallic, you can crush metallic. I do not care. It's carbonic that I want to make it further into the system. Alright, so there you guys go. I guess I should maybe wire you as well. You don't have to throw out quite so zealously. We can say that you're on if carbon is ever over like 75. And we can let this belt back up a little bit so that these might be able to run a little more often. But that should get rocket production started. Good. Yeah. It's actually getting ready to pick some up now. There are still a lot of turrets that don't have ammo, but these down here are starting to fill up. It looks like you have priority set on all of them. Just giving it a cursory glance. This one is backwards. Which means this one is... No, that one's the right side, the right way around. This is just where we start to run out of ammo, right here, I guess. Still no calcite for these things, though. I guess these are going to be grabbing all of the oxide chunks to build up our water supply. I really just need this thing to move a little bit. If I can get it just a little further out into space, I think it would be able to pick everything up. Maybe it's worth a shot. Let's see if I can just send it. I need to get over to Gleba anyway. Can I get you to turn on, and then also we can auto request all these again? Because I need them to be sending nuclear fuel up to some of the ships. Otherwise the ships are going to stall out. Actually, you guys still don't have ammo either. What happened to you? Why aren't you running? Why aren't you running? Out of calcite. Why aren't you running? No oxide asteroid chain. The problem with all of it is no oxide asteroid. So we just gotta go voyage. Let's go to Fulgora. Navis. Circuit condition. Circuit condition. See how far you can make it. This is going to burn a lot of thruster fuel real quickly, but if we can just find like one medium ice asteroid, I think we're cooking. I see a lot of ice chunks up here at least. Start grabbing. Just get any of it onto the belt that you can. Because we have designed this ship so that as soon as it's in motion, those are not set correctly. Ignore unlisted targets, please. You also ignore unlisted targets. Set all of those. I do not need you burning any more energy than you need to. And then there should be like a couple more up here. Yeah, there's one. Here's a couple. Wrong. Have these guys start ignoring unlisted targets, otherwise they're just going to waste ammo. A lot of ice asteroid chunks passing us by on the sides, but we intentionally did not put grabbers there because we couldn't figure out how to get them back onto the main line. Stop that. Wait a minute, we don't have a gun to shoot that asteroid right now. There you go. It's a lot of water coming in. I guess I'll just leave this laser firing to make sure the ship doesn't actually take damage. What is the holdup back here, though? Ammo production is running. And we shouldn't really be consuming that much. It's your thruster fuel, and it's your thruster fuel because you have no calcite. So again, it's oxide asteroid chunks. We have none oxide asteroid. And that one's going to be floating away. We just have to hope that we drift into ice. There's one way out there. Steam is continuing to build up, and once steam hits 25, that's a lot less water consumption. But yeah, this is always the problem with startup on these ships. I should really just think about having an unbarreler on here and send up like 1,000 barrels of water to get them started initially. There you go. All your guns at least have ammo now? I think you may get to reach that oxide asteroid chunk. But either way, we're going to fall back to Novi's here. So we'll just say go back to Novi's. We'll collect a couple more ice asteroid chunks and try again. Why aren't you grabbing? Because you think you have enough oxide asteroids? Is this even remotely possible? No. Not even like close? You're at minus 50. Why you no grab? No, really, why aren't you grabbing that oxide asteroid? Like, you're getting it as a signal. Is it because I didn't set filter? Actually, I probably need to set filter on these, regardless. See if you're willing to grab this guy, maybe? We will be able to shoot it. Those also are not quite close enough. There we go. We will be able to reach that oxide asteroid chunk. Okay. Do I have room for an unbarreler up here? No, you've completely surrounded your hub. That plan will have to wait. Also, I can tell you to calm down now, and I can tell you to calm down now, because the gun turrets actually have ammo. You're grabbing oxide. Good. Just need you to grab a few more, please. I also think I need to turn you back on. I just desperately need the oxide asteroid chunks. Also, thruster fuel is almost full, so these should not be consuming water anymore, which will be more water into the tanks. I really wish that I would have put some more collectors on the sides here, but on this side especially, it's just, there's no way. I could run them like up through where those turrets are. Or I guess I could maybe snake them through here somehow. I don't immediately know where they would connect in. I guess it's okay though. So we'll wait for our thruster fuel to build up again a little bit. Steam is almost capped off. Boilers are starting to back up with water. You just have no oxide coming in. Alright, send me back down to Navis. I'm gonna let you work there for a little bit. You need a little more time to start up. We got too excited. Maybe I can take another ship over to Glebo while you wait. Anybody else in orbit? Volcano's Provisioner is chilling. I could ride the Provisioner over to Glebo quick. Yeah, hop on board. And then add a circuit condition here to just hold it in place. Glebo, add circuit condition to hold it in place. Have you made any thruster fuel? No. You're gonna have to let it sit there for a bit. And are you still putting ammo on the belt? What are you at right now? 756 out of 1k? It doesn't look that populated. I think that'll actually be fine. You head over to Gleba. And then drop. But I need you to stay in orbit, because I'm going to have to get back on board. And as long as you're here, I can rework how we're making circuits on Gleba as well. Because I have been meaning to do that for some time. This design, still mostly happy with, I think. I do think it could use like a little bit of revision, but it does what it needs to most of the time. Alright, off we go. Waifu stripping behind me? Is this true? Are you stripping back here? Nice, okay. I'll keep a closer eye on my OBS overlay.
Hot tub too hot.
I don't have my fan on. I'll turn my fan on. Alright, let's get you kickstarted. Again. You're going to empty all your spoilage out, and then you'll be able to run yourself off of nutrients, but you're going to need this new decider combinator logic. Which is going to require copper, which you will not... Well, no, you do have a little bit. Yoink. The decider combinator, remind me how this works. It reads the nutrient belt. And then it also reads how much is in the biochamber. Decider. So this gets disconnected. This connects on red. You read whole belt. You connect on green. You read contents include fuel. And then you output to this inserter with, if both of these are 1, then you output 1. And we think that works sometimes. I don't know why you would have broken, though. Because you're supposed to use that logic. And that logic has worked really well up here for a very long time. Obviously not perfect, though. We can kill this connection. Reset you here. Copy this logic over. Copy. Wait, you're not reading whole belt right now. No, you are reading whole belt. Read this. Green out for you. You should be a fast inserter. And then copy that logic. Everything else is still running. But the broader problem is that this is not fast enough. So sever here, here, and here. And we're going to prepare to tear that whole thing down. How many emag plants do I have on Gleba surface? 0. Volcanus Provisioner. I need you to go to Fulgora. And I need you to wait on circuit condition. I need you to pick me up 40 emag chambers. And this is going to brutalize your power grid. Because they're real hungry. I don't think you can put off shipping a nuclear reactor down here much longer, honestly. Eventually you are going to need one to run up here. You're also not taking spoilage off that belt very fast. Oh, probably because it's not a turbo. Cocoa Puffs or Fruity Pebbles? Would you believe that I'm actually not a cereal guy? I'm a bagel in the morning guy. And that's about it. If I had to, I would probably be like a Cocoa Puffs kind of guy, but if I had to be a cereal guy, I would probably be like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch or a Reese's Pieces, or a Reese's Puffs kind of guy. Just to be straight up. This actually needs to go here. And then this is where I can put in the decider combinator logic. So you're gonna go red. Read contents include in crafting. You're already on green. And then you're gonna be on green. We copy your logic to here. We copy your logic to here. And then we hope that that keeps you working. And if it doesn't, we cry. Everything bagel or blueberry bagel? Everything bagel all the way. All the way. Everything bagel, plain cream cheese, everything cream cheese if you got it. If you don't, that's okay. But like a spicy everything cream cheese, a little bit of everything cream cheese with like a bit of sriracha mixed in goes crazy on a bagel. So I'd have to go with that. If you're gonna force my hand on it. Let's get this random copper cleared out. And then we'll prepare to put in e-meg plants. Lox on bagel? Nah, not a salmon guy. I'll do like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. At a push. But I'm not like I'm not a big salmon guy, so I'm not a big lox guy as a consequence. Feels like you're overfeeding nutrients here. Feels like you're overfeeding nutrients real bad. How are you putting so many on this belt? Shouldn't this be an and? Wait a minute. It should be an and. How did you screw that? Wait a minute. These are completely different. You never even set this decider up correctly in the first place. That's why all this shit broke. You actually set up the wrong decider combinator. God, no wonder. Yeah, it's supposed to look at bioflux. It's not supposed to look at nutrients in the biochamber. It's supposed to look at bioflux in the nutrient chamber. That's why it's overfilled all these on nutrients. Alright, let's see if that helps. You are back to Gleba now. You have dropped off 20 e-meg plants. You need to drop off 20 more. Nah, you dropped off 40. You're fine. Alright. I need you to wait in orbit until I'm done here, though. So take these 40, and let's see just how badly we can tax the grid down here. You are just about done. Put your spare iron in here. Sesame bagel, scallion, cream cheese, tomato, red onion, capers, lox. I can respect it. It's not the bagel that I would have, but I can respect that it's the bagel that you choose for your life. I'm also not like a big tomato guy. But the scallion cream cheese is like, yeah. We can talk about that. We can talk about the value and merit of a red onion as well. Significant culinary value in the existence of the red onion. But I just think tomatoes were like, they should have stayed poison. When early man was like, this is a member of the Nightshade family, we shouldn't eat this, they should have listened to that guy. Instead of, like, telling him that he was wrong. Because I think he was onto something. Anyway, let's work out ratios here. Currently, well, who knows? How much copper do you make? Or is it going to be gated on iron? Four and 12 makes 6. But you can also make wire in these things, for some reason. And it makes 12. It's actually ratio perfect. Okay, so you would go here into here. Because I really don't think you're going to get away with moving 12 wire per second with a red inserter. I don't really think that's going to happen. And then you split here. Well, actually, how much copper you would use. Because you only have a red belt down here. 4. Okay, so you can actually only run 3 of these. . Here, here. Power, power, power. Stop that. And then you have enough coverage on the other side. Wire, wire, wire. Connect this again, but then kill it here. You make green circuit. You're going to make 18 green per second. All right, so you'll need turbo for output. You're going to consume 12 iron per second. That you can get away with doing on yellow. You can also swing, well, 18. Just have it run through a splitter, and then you can lane balance the splitter. Also, have it run the other way. Like this. In, in, in. Out, out, out. In, in. Give me one of these. Split me here. Reconnect the iron. You can now flow further up. Then you're going to go through a splitter. And that's going to lane balance you. Then you need to clear all of this out. So what is your holdup? Not having greens. Okay, so just put greens directly on the belt. Which belt was greens? This? Yeah, that belt was greens. So you don't need to split iron off from here anymore. And then you'll have your greens flow. These also we need to upgrade. Just upgrade them now. Tear all this down. No sense in having those still be inefficient. You can also back up your sulfuric acid, because these have pass-throughs. You're making 18 per second, but here you're consuming 4. So you can have these consume a total of 14 per second. 4, 8, I'll do 4. I'll do 16. Vertical, vertical. And then your sulfuric acid can run up to here. And now we see if this kills our group. Also, this belt needs to be a turbo. In, out, out. Pull this along like, well, I guess just line it up with these. And then plug the inserters in later. In. Out, out. That's extra belt. This is extra belt. Do you take in enough blues to keep this thing running? No. Each of you is actually going to need 2 red inserters. Which is kind of wild. Now that should drain out the reds, I think. Also, how's power grid looking? Really bad. Really, really bad. You need to add another rack of boilers on top of this. Because the ratio doesn't... No, it's not that ratio anymore. You actually need to tack on another set of these. Which doesn't fit. You need to make a second set of these. That is going to go up here. You don't need that for it. You don't need these for it. You're going to need to run water up there, so you'll need a little extra pipe. We should have enough rocket fuel production to do this. If I go look at rocket fuel, is it backed up right now? Yes, not even all of your machines are running. So you should be able to do this. Dump one here. And then run this all the way up. To plug in here, here, and here. Then you need 4 boilers. 8 turbines. You can also go jalapeno, bagel, pimento cheese, and a slice of ham. That I would do in a heartbeat. Pimento cheese rocks. Pull you all the way up to here. To establish grid. We pull rocket fuel into you. Let's see if that alleviates some of the grid stress that we have. Not really. Are you building a rocket right now, though? Kinda. No. Actually, you're gonna need more. You're going to need... That's actually not the right tiling. You need this. Here, here, here. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Yeah, I thought pimento cheese was just like... I'm not gonna say it. But I thought it was just like cheese and mustard with like some peppers in it. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It is, yeah. It's just cheese, mayo, and pimentos. Six, 12, 18, 24. I need just a little more pipe. Now, if you're making the cheese yourself, that's impressive. And it's still neat. It's not like I'm making pimento cheese homemade. 5, 10, 15, 20. But yeah, pimento cheese is just like cheese, mayo, and pimento peppers. That's starting to look like a healthier grid. We're still in desperate need of a... Well, I guess I could also make, like, efficiency mod 1s. If we know that the EMEG plants are the problem, then let's just cut the EMEG plant electricity consumption down. Oh, and then you run out of copper. Okay, so we can plug copper back in. And this will be the real test to see how our copper production holds up. You also don't actually get enough iron. You just barely halt out. So move all this one back. And then pull this over just a little bit more. Oh, and then extend the belt, probably. Alright, now you run uninterrupted. But we don't make enough copper. Yeah, that's going to be our big problem. So we only really have the copper production to support 2 of these. Well, actually, maybe it's a belt throughput issue. Let's find out. There's an easy way to figure that out. You're going to make some pimento cheese. I like pimento cheese, so no arguments from me on you trying that out. Get some good, like, chips to go on it as well. Alright, let's see how you do with this. There's a lot of copper that is just sitting in these furnaces not doing anything. So as soon as... Oh, also, you never actually hooked up inserters to these. So that's also going to get some copper out of there. This is going to keep these machines running. Power grid looking much healthier after just adding a couple efficiency mods. This one is stalling out because we don't quite have enough green chip, but that is an upgrade problem. We upgrade along here, and we'll have enough production. It's this one that's struggling to find place on the belt to even put it down. You're still running slow somewhere. There, that's your one piece of normal transport belt. There we go. That is the throughput that I was expecting to see. And then these are still emptying themselves of surplus copper. So we're not going to keep this level of production up forever. But rockets are going off again, which is good. And nothing has stalled, which is good. We should not be able to run more than this number of plants, though. Because these are going to be consuming some. Actually, where'd your plastic go? Why aren't you producing? Oh, you don't have a way to take spoilage off of this belt. That's why you're not producing. Filter. Spoilage. We need to get fresh fruit in there. There we go. Alright, so that turns plastic back on. You can have these last 3. And I think that gets our grid under control. The rocket silos spike the grid a bit, but I think that's okay. I think that's fine. The question is, how much faster are we at producing blue chips now? Processing. We produced a lot a long time ago. 22 per minute. You're making 1.2 per second. So we should be close to 60. Use the pimento cheese in a grilled cheese to have with tomato soup. I could see that. I do feel like the grilled cheese is, and I say this knowing that there's a ton of bougie restaurants that do this already, but like the grilled cheese is a food item that is like ripe for innovation. I think there's a lot of people who just make grilled cheeses at home who are like, it's bread and cheese toasted. And there's not really anything stopping you from doing that per se, but it's also like you're not taking full advantage of the medium. A grilled cheese can be so much more than that. Alright, this resumes bioflux shipments. This also resumes ag science shipments. I think our work here is done. I would like to go to Volcanus Provisioner, please, as soon as you fire this rocket. And it looks like our rocket building is keeping up now, which was the main goal in overhauling the way these circuits work. Have we replaced our red circuits with EMAG plants? No, but I don't think we need to. It feels like it's keeping up. We can maybe come down and fiddle with it a bit more later if we need to. It would help your copper go further, though. What's the ratio look like? Ah, grab your EMAG plants again. The job is worth doing. It's worth doing to completion. Boom, boom. 12 per second. You consume 1.33 per second. How many reds do you need to make for a 12? You need to make 1.6. You actually only need 4 of those. Okay, that's kind of crazy then. Cut, cut, cut. That is actually worth a replacement, knowing that you only need 1 wire plant and then 4 EMAG plants, because you can actually direct insert with the wire plant, which will look really cool. You also probably don't need that many. Trick to a good tomato soup is use charred tomatoes and charred red bell peppers and some pureed serranos. I mean, I will say that I'm not like... I am not a... I hate all forms of tomatoes tomato hater. I am not a raw tomato fan, but I'll do like a tomato-based sauce. I'll do salsas. I'll do like pizza sauce, obviously, even though that's technically tomatoes. So I don't really have grievances with the cooked tomato. It's mostly just grievances with the raw tomato. So if you're making a tomato soup, but you're really cooking the tomato down, you're doing a bit of work on it, you're getting it to forget its origins as a bad fruit, and you're encouraging it to do something greater with its time, then I could see that being something that I would be interested in. It's the people who are like, oh, I like a good tomato soup, and it's like they quartered a tomato and put it in broth. Like, what are you doing? Where did your life go off the rails? So red, red, wire, red, red. Copper cable, red, red. You are going to go under and over. You're going to run into two splitters. This is going to be very janky, but it's also going to be cool. Check this out. How much green do you consume per second? How much plastic? You'll be perfectly fine. Right? So that's like one of them. And then this guy. How are you getting these out? Like this. Nope, that's not going to work. How are you getting these out? You might just want to split that belt twice to simplify your life a bit. You might actually want to change how all of these split to save your effort. You don't even need this belt to come up that far. Just drag all these back. We had plans for a far more ambitious belt configuration than actually manifested on Gleba. So you're gone, and I just need to get you to flow into this splitter, which I can do now. Because I'll pull you up here. Favorite soup is cochito? What does a cochito soup involve? Pull you back a bit. Have you go here. You're going to consume 4 copper per second. Manageable. You actually don't need that splitter there. Okay, that turns everything back on. You are going to split here. No, you're going to split. No, you're going to split here. Because I want to run you. Yeah. 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 Like this. No, you don't even need to do that. You can just go like this. Because turbos are super long. Insert here, insert here, insert here, insert here. Aquilo's discovered. That's great news. Picture a Mexican flavored beef broth with chunky veggies in it and optionally meat. I'm imagining it with meat in my head. And I like it. I'm a big fan of that addition. Back this up. This doesn't need to be here. You like this. You underneath like this. you a splitter. And it's fine that that keeps the belt from reading. I don't need it to read. Then, that's the end of your plastic. So you're going to have here, a splitter here, an underground here, turn it down, run in here, these grab, and now your reds insert onto this belt. Which is going to come through like this. And plug in here. Oh, you do need to carry your greens up further. That's my mistake. Your greens do need to come up a little further. So you'll need splitter here. Yellow here. You'll need one more underground. Yeah? I think so, yeah. So that should get you running. And then, just to make sure that you have a place to put these reds if we need them, you're going to go here, and then we're going to back this thing up. And I need just one belt here. And then you also need a roboboard, apparently. You can have one here. And then I'll drag power over to you. Yeah? I think so. I think so. Chest? I think I can now leave Gleva. I think we've done what we need to do here. Take me up to the Volcanus Provisioner. Corn, potato, carrot, celery, pearl onion, and whatever other veggies you have on hand. That sounds like a recipe that is right up your alley. That sounds like a recipe that is right up your alley. It is a leftover vegetables in the fridge recipe. Alright. Is my Aquila ship ready to move? Yes. It is stockpiled a ton of spare water. No, it has no spare fuel. Or, yeah, no spare fuel. Alright. So, you I need to put on pause. Because I need calcite to flow down to... No, that's not going to be your problem. Your problem is actually calcite. It's because... Goodbye. Nauvis. Drop to Nauvis. It's because these are grabbing all of your oxide chunks. It's because ice hasn't backed up yet. You need ice to back up. Yeah, so you would need to turn all these off if you wanted to get ice all the way down here. The problem is that these grab everything. There is no ice that makes it past those crushers. And that's why we have none thruster fuel. So, a little annoying, but we can go like this. And that will let a couple oxide asteroids pass, so that we can at least make enough thruster fuel to move the ship. Dropping. And then once we have enough thruster fuel to move the ship, we can just go to Aquilo because we researched it. So we should probably start stocking that ship with what we're going to need on Aquilo. And what we're going to need on Aquilo is a double nuclear reactor. Potentially even like a quad nuclear reactor, but we're going to start with a double. You can make 2 of those. Let's say 30 steam turbines and 20 heat exchangers. We'll bring 50. No, we only need to bring like 25. You are going to need a ton of heat pipe. Let's say 500. You are going to need a ton of concrete. Let's say like 2,000. You are going to need pump jacks. Let's say 20. You're going to need fast inserters. Let's say 100. You're going to need long-handed inserters. Let's say 200. You may need AM3s. Don't immediately know why. But let's say you need 20 of those. You can take 100 construction bots. You can take 100 logistics bots. Train station, you should be fine without. Furnaces you're going to need. Take 50 furnaces. We won't need trains immediately. Take a stack of requesters, take a stack of storages. Stack of pump jacks. Tanks? Yeah, you'll probably want tanks. Steel chest? Yeah, you'll probably want steel chest. Gun turret? No. Buffer? No. Roboports? I think you could probably get away with 10. Laser turrets? No. Landfill? No. Labs? No. Passive provider? No. Maybe a radar? Take like 5. Chem plants? I think you're going to need chem plants just to get off the ground. So take 10. Solar panels. Yes, but you don't know where your solar panels are. Maybe here. Take 50 of them. You don't know where your substations are. They should be down here in the old chest that you were putting them into. Take some medium poles. You may need them. And then take some substations. You may also need them. If you can find them. Do you need an oil refinery down there? I don't know. Take some just to be safe. Where are all of my substations? I don't know. Let's just request 100 of them. Bring them to me. You're also going to need pipe. Let's say you need 400 pipe and 200 pipe underground. You can bring turbo. You don't need anything else up here. I don't think you're even going to need long power poles. What else are you going to need down there? Did you get tanks? You did get tanks. Pumps? Shouldn't need pumps. Raw materials, like the processing units and stuff, I'm just going to ship in after the fact. I'm not going to bring those with me to start. I'm just thinking, what do I need immediately when I'm down there? But I think that's most of it. I'm sure I've forgotten something, but I think that's most of it. So, what I want to do first is I want to start with this cargo inventory, having a... Oh, and belts. Let's say like maybe 600. And then maybe 100 undergrounds and 50 splitters. So I want to start with a clean slate on this ship. Send down all of this stuff that we now no longer need. Thrust for fuel 25, you at 25. That worked perfectly. Start having these produce ice again. So send all that down, and then we send all of this garbage up. Right, I don't think I can put in... Yeah, there we go. Alright, we need to turn all of these off automatic again so that we can send it up manually. And then once I actually get onto the planet, I'm going to figure out what we want for an Aquilo build order. Deliver, deliver. Let's also, now that Bioflux is getting shipped again, go and recapture those nests. Just to give our construction bots a little bit less to do out there. Why'd you stop? You're out of Ag Science? I think Ag Science just got shipped. So you'll have something to do very soon. Capture bot rocket. How did you get spoilage in there? How did you manage to do that? What the heck? Alright, it's going to take you a while to make them, I guess. I'll finish that later. We did just get our first Bioflux shipment in a very long time. Concrete can send up at one time. 100? God, it's going to take so many launches to get this thing ready. I really wanted to try and be done with this by 2, but I also really want to end when I'm on Aquilo. So I guess we'll just do this really fast. Metro Belt 2 finished. Work on a Spidertron. At least our rockets build quickly. Go. Probably should have built more silos. Oh well, it'll be fine. Spidertron done. God, our research is fast when it wants to be. Let's work on something else from Pulgoro. Energy shield Mark II. Oh my lord. We peak at over 2200 when we have enough science packs to actually run stuff. That's wild. That is a lot of science per minute. We'll knock out all the one-time researches. And then we'll start to build on some of the infinite ones again. Like grab foundation, or rail foundation, or whatever. Oh, nuclear fuel cells. You're also going to want to send up. Go grab a few of those from the power plant. We're going to need enough uranium to run this thing for a little bit. Also, what about heating towers? Yeah, you probably want a couple heating towers, too. Maybe like 10? That's all of your infinites. Or all of your non-infinites. So what do you want to work on next? Let's go Gleba research. Fulgora research. Volcanus research. 57k will be a nice long one. So 200 of you. 50 heat pipe. 1 of you. And then normal boiler. Do I make normal boiler? I could have sworn I did. Let's check. You don't. Do you have any spare? You have 12. Is that enough? No, you need 20. So you're going to need a little extra stone. Well, first of all, summon me the boilers. Yeah, give me 50 boilers. And then you need to make 8 more. So that's 8 stone furnaces. You're just going to need a lot of stone. Stone and pipe. Pipe. Stone. How does stone get into this network again? Does it? It does from somewhere. Okay, you can have those. Here's your spare stone. And then who can I give pipe to? You? Yeah, you can have some extra pipe. Then I can go 5, 10. 10 heating towers should be good enough. You should also send up some rocket fuel then as initial heating for those towers. Sound like 200 of it. Because the nuclear reactor is fine for generating a lot of heat, but we might still want the heating towers at like some satellite locations instead of running one giant heat pipe out there. The heat pipes get less efficient the further away they are from the nuclear reactor. Is a rocket silo big enough to send up in a spaceship? Yeah, too heavy for a rocket, so I'd have to build that on the surface. Or I'd have to request the parts to build it on the surface. Which I can do. From pretty much anywhere out. Because everywhere is capable of making a rocket on the surface. Are you doing on bot capture rockets? You've made 3. You've run out of bioflux already, I think. What does the Gleba ship think about that? It didn't drop off. Oh, it's because we haven't done the little time pass thing. No, you have. Why didn't you drop off? Are you not requesting? No, you have bioflux. I guess that's why. You're just still consuming it. Alright. Almost there. At least I could fit a bunch of you in a rocket. You'll go up fast. Okay, down to just 2 lines to go. What's up, Ari? A little late for you to be up still. We are almost done, though. I just really want to get to Aquilo before I go to bed. It's a good natural stopping point. And then we're going to spend 1 day on Aquilo. We are going to probably spend another day designing the ship that goes to the solar system edge, and then we'll go to the solar system edge, and then we'll be done with Factorio. Getting very close. What? Oh, no, 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 no. You go in rocket inventory. You also go in rocket inventory. God, I forgot how few fuel cells I can put in this thing. You guys tired of hearing the rocket launch noise yet? Me personally, it's getting a little old. But like, it's not that bad. Alright, that's it, we're done. Put away your last bot capture rocket. Hop on board. Change your silos back to auto request. And let's go to Aquilo. What's your problem? That's just your normal science drawdown. You're getting back to baseline. Also, you're only at 13% because that's a 57,000 science technology. So after Volcanus, you would do another Gleba. You would do another Fulgora. Let's pick the ones that are lowest, I suppose. Get them up. Also, blue chip productivity helps a lot. And then, get rid of Fulgora. Add Aquilo. Circuit condition. And let's go. So we're going to have to pass by Gleba first in order to get all the way out there. Did I give you an interrupt? Yeah, low nuclear space fuel. But once we pass by Gleba, we've got a long trip ahead of us to go all the way out to Fulgora, or to Aquilo. We're going here, and then we've got this big, long, 30,000 kilometer route to get up to Aquilo. And then after that, this is like a 100,000 kilometer route. Yeah. Whereas the ones we're flying on now are only 15. Let's see how this holds up out here. The ship still does 240. It's a little bigger than the other ships, but it's doing fine on speed. It's doing okay on fuel. It's doing surprisingly okay on water. So I think this is actually a speed that it can sustain. And it's a little backed up on ammo. Ammo may actually be a throughput issue for it. We are also now on the Aquilo route, so we are going to be looking for large asteroids to spawn now. This is actually still a test we need to put this ship through. We don't know if it can survive this deep in space. We're pretty sure it can. But we're not positive. And so far, it looks fine. We have a surplus of ammo on the belt. We do not have a surplus of rocket on the belt right now. But all of the rocket production is running. Can I see what I'm at for rockets? You have 250 on the belt. That number is dropping really fast. I think once it stops, it'll be okay. It'll give it an opportunity to catch up. But rockets may be the speed limiter on this ship. Also takes 4 shots. We need to... What's the research that actually improves rocket damage? Is it stronger explosives? It is. We might need to do a couple of ranks of stronger explosives. I think that would cut down on our ammo consumption for rockets pretty considerably. Because it's taking like 4 rockets to destroy each of these. And we are firing a lot of them. Yeah, we're down to 81 on the belt now. I think it'll be okay once it gets into orbit. But we'll see. Everything else has been fine. Yeah, you're actually out. Okay, this is about to be really bad. Yeah, you ran out of rockets. You made it, but you ran out of rockets. You almost made it. And you didn't bring enough to repair. Alright, we load from save then. Here. Go back to Novice. And we're going to have to do a little bit more planning. But I don't think I can stay up any later tonight, so we're going to have to do that next time. The first Aquilo ship is almost a success, but unfortunately it is a failure, and I think the way we're going to need to fix it is speed modules, because I don't really have any other space that I can commit to this thing. So I'm pretty sure all of these are ratioed out correctly, although you're out of coal, which means you are out of carbonic. So you may actually be the culprit. We probably just need to let our rockets back up a little more, and then I think we can make that trip. So for now, let's logistics you, keep you from eating carbonic asteroids that make it onto the belt, so that you can build up a surplus of carb. How much is on this belt? 16? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll build up a surplus of rockets, because rockets are going to be the issue for us going forwards. And then we'll give that run another try. But we're going to do that next time. If you want to know when that's going to be, I've got a Discord. You should join it so that you can get stream pings and know when we're going live in the future. There's also a VODs channel if you want to catch up on stuff that we've done in the past. Next Factorio stream is probably going to be Friday, after normal World versus World stuff. And I'll see you around if you want to see this Aquila ship actually succeed. except for the fact that it exploded on arrival, basically. I'm actually really happy with it, and I think it's performing pretty well. So I will see you guys around for that. We will get started on Aquilo, and then we will continue out for even further to the solar system edge. But until then, take care, enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.